Good morning, YouTube. Today is Friday, July 26th, Anthony's last day of vacation. We're not going to get this view anymore. Back to the backyard next week, but for today, there's that Gulf of Mexico. Glad you could join us, Anth. You're a freaking trooper. Appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy.
He might be the first ever 2-for-2er while on vacation.
I know I missed one on vacation. So, yeah, he's showing us how it's done, Tom. This is how you lead from the front.
That's respect.
Yeah, for sure. So glad to have Anth, Tom. Glad to see a great event last night with Berkshire Hathaway. The marketing team put together a hell of a show at the pig roast. So that was a blast. And if you didn't make it yet, you missed a good time.
No, the pig roast was cool. I enjoyed it. It took place at Shrimp Boil. Shrimp Boil was always a great event, but I did love the pig roast and the outdoor atmosphere, kind of like a picnic, and felt more roomy than on a Jay Verno where it's a little stuffy and dark. So parking was easy. Everything was good. I give an A+ to yesterday's event.
I agree. So good job, Berkshire Hathaway, on that one. Can't wait for next year. But main topic, we're now 2-3 weeks away, I guess, from changes coming in real estate. We're finally getting some information on how the world's going to work. And again, no one really knows how it's going to work because it hasn't happened yet. But it seems like it's going to be more normal for sellers to not pay both of the commission now. They're going to pay their agent, and it's going to be left up to the buyer to pay the buyer's agent. Plain and simple. Seller pays seller's agent, buyer pays buyer's agent. But the buyer is allowed to ask for certain things in their offer to have the seller pay for it if they can negotiate that. So it's not like they're not allowed to ask for it. It's just not starting that way anymore. So if I'm a buyer's agent, I'm excited. I'm excited because now you really get to negotiate. You're not just negotiating price, but you get to negotiate price. You get to negotiate if the seller's paying any commission. You get to negotiate if you're going to ask for any seller concessions. You get to negotiate your own commission potentially, and probably. Where now there's way more leeway for you as a buyer's agent to run your business how you want to run your business, and you're not counting on another agent or a seller or anyone for how you get paid.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to work out pretty nicely. I mean, obviously, with any change, there's going to be hiccups in the first few months, and the market's going to have time to figure it out. But I think eventually it is going to run smooth, and buyers are going to have a lot more opportunity to get into homes once it does kind of even out.
And same thing with buyers. The buyers get to negotiate on a whole lot more now. It's exciting. You're not just going in at a highest and best price. There's so many different ways you can format an offer, structure an offer now to win deals and to win that house.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that they have not seen over the last 3 to 4 years. It's basically come in with your highest and best, and let's hope your offer gets accepted. With the changes coming, they'll have the ability to make those negotiations to hopefully get an overall better, transaction deal, and moving forward.
So, but here's the one negative. On the financing side, we see buyers' information, right? We see their assets, their debt to income ratio, their cash to close, and where we are in the world today. I don't know if every buyer can just sit there and afford an extra 3% of the purchase price on top of all their closing costs and down payment to make sure the buyer's agent gets paid, they have their down payment, they have their closing costs, and they can all close. The good news is this is where the negotiating comes in. This is where buyer, loan officer, real estate agent get down to the nitty-gritty and figure out what's the best offer for them. Can they afford to pay some buyer agent commission so they can offer maybe less than the purchase price, right? Hey, Mr. Seller, I'm paying my agent. I'm offering less because of that reason. Maybe that's a case. Maybe they're going to just ask for seller assistance. Maybe they're going to ask the lender for a lender credit. There's a lot of different options for the buyer, the agent, and the loan officer to decide on what makes best for that buyer.
100%. And you could ask for the 3% commission to be paid in your offer. You could ask for 3% assist. So, I mean, you could still get the regular for minimum down conventional loan. You could still get that full assistance as well as the commission paid for. But that needs to be negotiated and put in the agreement.
On an FHA, you can have the seller pay the buyer agent commission and ask for 6% seller assistance. None of that is changing.
9%, Ryan?
The seller can pay 9% of costs when it comes down to it. It just has to be put in the offer. And we know that the sales agreements changing in Pennsylvania. Everyone's freaking out about new forms, but this levels the playing field. Everyone's starting new. So I want buyers agents to be excited about this. Learn, the quicker you can learn your sales contract, what the words mean, because of course they're confusing, how to structure it, what's working in the market, you're then going to make more money for yourself than you are in this current position today.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing the forms is going to be very important because it is new to everybody. But, putting your offer in and structuring it the right way that is going to help the buyers negotiate for that better offer is going to be key because buyers are always going to be looking for the affordability. That's always going to be the biggest thing when they're buying a house. They're not buying it because of the price, they're buying it because of the payment. So, doing that, proper negotiations, utilizing the agreement to your benefit to make your offer stand out is going to be key.
Yeah. So we're here for you. We have a program we talked about, I don't know how many months ago, 2-3 months ago. Of course, everyone kind of forgot about it. So we're going to bring it back up here again. It's our 111 program. And all this program is it's a way for an agent to get paid. For this example, it's going to be 3%. Now, will every transaction be 3%? I probably see agents getting paid a different amount on most transactions because they're going to negotiate that with every buyer. I could be completely wrong. The 3% could say the standard, and that's kind of what everyone pays. I don't know yet, but we'll stick with 3. This is a way for the agent to get paid 3% and the buyer only to pay 1% out of pocket. Now, the best part of this is it doesn't always have to be 111. As long you can do anything that equals 3 or however much the buyer is going to get paid. So let's get into it, Ann. 1% paid by the seller. What does that mean?
That would be 1% seller's assistance.
There you go. Or asking the seller to pay 1% of the commission. You can now do either, right? You can do either. You could do both. Whatever it is.
However you want to fill in that contract.
Exactly. 1% paid by the seller. So, okay, Mr. Seller, you don't have to pay any of my commission. You're not paying any seller concessions. We are going to ask you to pay 1% seller concession, though. Okay, not awful. You ask the lender to pay 1%. So what that means is we're going to give a lender credit to you. A lender's allowed to give a credit to the buyer at closing to help with some of their closing costs. Now, nothing's free in this world. To get a lender credit, you're going to have a higher interest rate if you didn't have the lender credit. Plain and simple, that's how it works. Sorry to burst everyone's bubble. But again, to get into the home, to get everyone paid, this is an option. And then Tom, the last one, 1% paid by the buyer. Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, 1% paid by the buyer. We're going to add that to their estimate and also confirm that they do have the funds for that 1%. So that is a very necessary part. We need to make sure that they have the funds to close if they are paying any commission at all. So again, I mean, I think it's very important to harp down what you said, Brian. I mean, the money that's given out by a lender, I know some other companies doing that as well. They're just raising the interest rate to do that. Yes, it seems like a great program, but we're offering the same thing, except we're offering a whole 1%. So,
right. And hey, if you can get it from the seller, get it from the seller, right? don't be afraid to put in the offer. Don't try to read the seller and the selling agent's mind. Every offer is now going to be completely different. Every different structure is going to be different, what they're asking for, but whatever works for your buyer, whatever you think is a real estate professional is going to work for the offer. Put the offer in and don't be afraid of it. And we will get through the change in the market. But again, it is a free market. Buyers and sellers are going to figure out what works for them. That's how this works too. So buckle up. We're here for the next 3 weeks. I think we're doing some of the best training to get everyone ready for this. But on the flip side, if you need any individual training or any individual questions, you know how to get a hold of us.
Sales 101, Ryan. You
There
can't
it
get
is.
it if you don't ask.
Anthony, enjoy the last day. We'll see you Tuesday, brother.
Yes, sir. See you guys.
Bye.